Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be discussing what I thought of the first three, and so very good episodes of Andor Season 2. That's right, Season 2 is finally here after 3 long years between Seasons 1 and 2. The second and sadly final season is finally with us, with the first 3 episodes dropping earlier today on Disney+. I just got done watching all 3 of them. Oh my goodness, what a way to start the final season. Now, before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're currently watching the first 3 episodes of Andor and you're on episode 1, 2, or 3 and you haven't finished any of them yet, you don't want to keep watching or listening to this video, and if you do, watch it and listen to it with extreme caution, as I will be referring to spoilers from every single episode. So that being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, wow, I don't know if I've ever seen Star Wars go that dark before. Yeah, we've seen people die, and there have been epic battles both in space and on planets, and, you know, we've lost beloved characters and stuff like that, but we've never seen it go so dark to where we really see the ugly side of fascism, which is, we saw that in the first episode with that meeting where I was under the impression Krennic was going to let all those Imperials in on the fact that he's building the Death Star, but it turns out it's for something else entirely. They mean to pillage and plunder a planet of its rare natural resource in order to feed the war machine that is the Death Star. And of course, they're going to kill a whole lot of people and a whole lot of spiders to do it. And they seem very casual or nonchalant about it. Well, we're going to decimate an entire planet's population, destroy a bunch of cities, and steal and plunder their natural resource. Okay, just another day in the books for the Empire. The fact that all of them were so cold about it was really chilling, because it's like none of them were bothered by this at all. The other darkness we experienced or encountered was the attempted rape of Bix. You know, the Lieutenant McCreepy over there was giving us some vibes earlier in the episode when he was asking her to accompany him to the nearby town for dinner or whatever, and she's like, oh, well, my husband wouldn't approve. And then he comes back, and then he full-on tries to rape her, and of course she fights back because she's a badass, traumatized, but a badass, and finally puts him down and his driver as well, so good on her. But I don't think we've ever seen sexual assault or rape in any iteration of Star Wars, to my knowledge. Yeah, Leia may have been objectified in Return of the Jedi and whatnot, but certainly wasn't assaulted or raped like Bix almost was. So it just goes to show you that it's really frightening and chilling when the people in charge, or in this case, when the government, which is the Empire, is in charge of the galaxy. Their officers and soldiers can pretty much do whatever they want and get away with almost anything. And that's terrifying. The lack of accountability, the fact that they don't have to answer to anyone. Well, they do have to answer to someone. They answer to Vader, Tarkin, and the Emperor. But do you think any of those guys are going to give a rat's ass if an officer raped some woman on an Outer Rim planet? Nope. So it just shows you just how truly powerful and terrifying the Galactic Empire really is. I loved, the first 2 episodes were great, but I really loved the 3rd episode. And yes, it's mostly because of the awesome sequence where we saw Cassian flying the TIE fighter and blowing up the Imperial transports and taking down the stormtroopers. Unfortunately, we lost his friend Brasso, which was devastating. And he left his droid behind as well, but in the care of that nice woman who was giving them temporary housing. But it just sucks the droid will never be reunited with poor Cassian, though. But he did reunite with the kid and with Bix, sadly, after finding Brasso's body. But what I also loved about the 3rd episode is that while all of this shit is simultaneously happening on this farming planet, we cut back to Chandria, where Mon Mothma's daughter is getting hitched, and she's dealing with all of these turbulent relationships with her old friend, with her partner who's helping her secretly fund the rebellion, with Luthen, who it's like, what are you doing with this guy? He's bad news. It's like he needs to be taken off the board. And of course, Mon Mothma is like, no need to take him off the board. But then as we see at the end of that episode, Mon Mothma's sister sees her absentee lover disguised as the guy's driver. And well, it's a pretty safe bet that this guy isn't going to get off of that planet alive. Pretty certain that Luthen ordered Cinta to take him out to remove this threat to the rebellion. And I don't think Mon Mothma has quite gotten to the point that Luthen and Andor have gotten to, which is they'll do anything in the name of the rebellion. Mon Mothma is still trying to be civilized about it or do it without any bloodshed. But the fact that she was like dancing away like a maniac and drinking a bunch during her daughter's reception tells me that that was her way of coping with it, coping with the fact that this guy was about to get assassinated and there was nothing she could do about it, even though she knows it's for the better, for the good of the rebellion. So great first 3 episodes. The first 2 kind of felt like a bit of a slow burn, but I gave the show credit. In the show's defense, you know, it did have an exciting opening sequence with Cassian trying to steal the ship. That was both awesome and hilarious, and it was far better done than what was done in that piece of shit Force Awakens in terms of trying to steal a TIE fighter. This sequence was 20 times that. And it was funny, it was naturally funny, and it was both exciting as well, watching Cassian try to steal a TIE fighter from an Imperial weapons base, taking out a bunch of stormtroopers, and then eventually escaping. So exciting opening action sequence, and then the first 2 episodes still were a bit of a slow burn, but I realized, well, you gotta have some narrative planted before you can get into the action. You got to have some storytelling so that the action makes sense later, and that's exactly what happened with the first 2 episodes establishing what happens in the first 2 and then the 3rd episode. By the end of the 3rd episode, when we have gotten a great action battle sequence, it all makes sense and comes together. So I understand now why the show began the way it did and then ended the way it did with the 3rd episode. So now I believe we're set for another time jump. Don't know how many years it'll be, but I think each installment of the trio of episodes that Andor will release consecutively is going to be followed by respective time jumps. How many years it'll be, I'm sure they'll tell us, so I don't know. But I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes, especially the 3rd one, quite a bit. I can't wait to see how it all leads into Rogue One. I'm sure this is going to be a huge improvement over an already pretty great Season 1 that Season 1 of Andor was. Season 2 is already kind of blowing my mind with expectations because it didn't start or go the way I thought it would. And then when it did get to the exciting stuff, you're like, oh my God, the stakes are higher than ever. So all that makes me enjoy it all the more. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 2. What did you all think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thanks again for watching, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel for more future videos like this one. Andor drops new episodes every Tuesday on Disney Plus for the next couple of weeks. Have an awesome rest of your night, everyone. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.